Watch. Chinese flags line San Francisco streets for Xi Jinping.
This should be very disturbing images for anybody who is an American. The fact that they would allow their city to be destroyed by the homelessness and the drugs and the crime and then clean it all up in one day for Xi Jinping and not its own citizens, that's insane. Our government, our media has been compromised. Our president has been compromised. All these people have sold out to the Chinese government. They are willing to hand over our country for their own benefit on a silver platter to our literal enemy. This guy should come here. He should never see a Chinese flag. This should be a very uncomfortable place for him to come. You need to stand up, speak up, and use your voice relentlessly, unless you want the next time this motherfucker comes to the United States, he'll actually be the president. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to motherfucking reality. Guys, today we have Andy and DJ
Cruise the motherfucking internet.
And that's what we're going to do. That's what CTI stands for. It stands for Cruise the Internet. This is where we put topics up on the screen. We talk about them. We speculate on what's true and what's not true, and then we talk about how we, the people, are the solution to the problems going on in the world. Other times you tune in, we have Q&AF. That's where you can submit questions and we give you the answers. You can submit your questions one of a couple different ways. The first way is,
yeah, guys, email those questions in to askandy@andyfrisella.com.
Or you can go on YouTube on the Q&AF episodes, which typically post on Mondays, and drop your question in the comments, and we'll pick some from there as well. Other times we have Real Talk. Real Talk is just 5 to 20 minutes of me giving you some real talk. Then other times we have Full Length. That's where we have an interesting guest come and sit in studio, and we have a conversation. And then we have 75 Hard Verses. 75 Hard Verses where somebody who has completed the 75 Hard program, who had a shit show of a life before, no longer has a shit show of a life, and then they come on the show and talk to you about how they did it. So if you're interested in 75 Hard, which is the initial phase of the Live Hard program, which is the most popular mental conditioning program that's ever been created in the history of mankind, you can get it for free at episode 208 on the audio feed. If you don't want to go get it on the audio feed, there is a book as well. It's on my website, andyfrisella.com, called 75 Hard, and you can read about it there. Definitely unnecessary, but if you like to know the ins and outs and the nuts and bolts, reading the book is a good idea. So we don't run ads on the show. You're going to notice that. And in exchange for that, we have this thing called the fee. The fee is very simple. Because I'm not going to fill your head with a bunch of ads and be beholden to a bunch of advertisers telling me what I can and can't say, I ask very simply that you help us spread the word. That means if the show makes you think, if it makes you laugh, it gives you a new perspective, if it opens your eyes to some things, if you think it's a message that needs to be heard, please do your part and share the show. You know, we get shadow banned, we get traffic throttled, we get the worst parts of the censorship issue going on in this country. And without you guys sharing the show, people don't hear it. So don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, not much.
Yeah, question. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know, man. I think if we knew that answer, it wouldn't be we wouldn't have heard that question a million times.
Yeah, well, it's a metaphor, right? Because we've all seen this, right? This post right here, it was shared around maybe a couple of months ago. I know we talked about it on a prior CTI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it shows they do something, comes out about Biden, and then they hammer Trump. Another indictment, right?
Yeah, the next day.
The very next day, right?
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing. So it made me think, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because they did it again.
Oh, they did?
They did it again, yeah. So I don't know if you guys seen this, but so there was a win for Trump, right? This headline reads, New York judge lifts Trump gag order in civil fraud trial over free speech concerns. As they should, right? Because, it was completely unconstitutional, right? A New York judge has lifted the gag order imposed on former President Donald Trump in his civil fraud trial stemming from State Attorney General Letitia James' lawsuit against him and the Trump Organization. Citing concerns over free speech, appeals court judge David Friedman issued a stay on the order Thursday, which was put in place by Judge Arthur Engoron in October. Engoron, who's overseeing Trump's trial, imposed the partial gag order to block all parties from making derogatory statements about his court staff. The one staffer that was, allegedly messing around with Schumer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that happens, right? So it gets lifted. That's a great win. It's a big win for First Amendment rights. It's cool. But then the egg came, or the chicken. I don't know which one. That classified docs thing that Biden did, which was, equivalently the same thing as Trump did. Yeah, he just got off on all those charges.
Well, did they charge Trump with that though?
Yeah.
Is it still ongoing?
Yeah, that's what part of the shit is going on with the Dave Smith, the prosecutor for that case. So he's got 4 separate cases going on all at once. And like the biggest thing on that case with Trump, it's like he was president. He's lawfully able to declassify anything at any time. He doesn't need a special permission. Or Biden, he's got stuff everywhere.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Are you surprised?
No, not surprised. I just think it's funny that if there's a loss on Biden, here's a loss for Trump. Trump gets a W, or here's a W for Biden. It's just so obvious. The timeline of this stuff, man.
Yeah, at this point, dude, I think everybody understands the corruption, the double standard that's going on. And if they don't, they're completely brainwashed to one side or the other. I mean, if you have any rational ability to think, no matter what you feel about either candidate, you clearly see there's a double standard. There's a double standard that benefits the Democrats and the leftist, people in literally every area of society right now.
I'm about to say, can you think of any double standard that's going our way?
No, not a single one.
I can't think of one either.
Yeah, but they, it's, it happens in the legal system. It happens in politics. It happens in the media. It happens
crime.
In crime. It's ridiculous. There's a far left communist standard that is being held up by, all of these people. And the corruption is deep, dude. It's in the media. It's in politics. It's in the courts. It's it's everywhere. And, the good news is I think people are starting to see it more than they've seen it, this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was real easy for a lot of people to see, in COVID. I think a lot of people woke up, and then as progressively as things started to unravel, specifically when we got to the point where they're starting to persecute Trump and keep him off the ballot and try to ruin this guy before the election, I think people are starting to see it. Even if, they don't like Trump, they're able to see it. And, it's dangerous because a lot of people see it and they're not saying anything, or they think it's okay because it's working in their benefit right now. But the reality is, what I worry about is that it's setting a precedent for the pendulum to come from the other direction next time.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually when we deal with these two extremes, right, this extreme left and this extreme right, and it goes back and forth, this is eventually how genocides happen. And this is how, wars happen, and civil wars and conflicts. And, it's something that I've been talking about for years and been warning everybody about. But, my voice just isn't big enough to really make that level of a change. When we look at people who could have made the change, they opted out of making the change. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these big time celebrities that bowed down and took a knee when they were literally at the top of the funnel in terms of traffic and getting the word out, it's disappointing, dude, because now we're in a situation where the pendulum is swinging back. And I do believe that most people are shifting the Overton window back to the right. And we're going to have to see what happens. Ultimately what should happen is hopefully that we would get a leader that would not be so generalizing in their response. You know what I mean? I feel like the people who are breaking the law need to be held accountable, and we can't lump in entire groups of people into that, right?
That's where it gets dangerous.
Correct. Yeah. And that's what I worry about. Look, dude, there's a difference between Democrats and leftists. All right. Democrats are capitalist people who are good, normal people who have liberal leaning views. And if we went back 20 years, I would be considered a Democrat because I don't have a problem with things like gay marriage or just basic middle of the road social issues. But we're getting in a position now where the Democrats are being lumped in with leftists, and Democrats are typically capitalists, leftists, or communists who are progressive. And these are the people who are corrupting society at the highest level. And so these people who are making these decisions at a high level to implement all of these things, right? Those are the people that need to be held accountable, not an entire political ideology side.
Sure.
Unless it's communist.
Yeah.
And real talk, that's how I feel. Communists should not be allowed to exist in America at all.
Speaking of that pendulum swinging back, it's funny you say that. Did you see that video of Michael Rappaport come out?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy talks a lot of dumb shit.
A lot of dumb stuff.
I mean, he said, like, he must live in his, I always liked him as an actor. I thought he was a great actor. He was in Copland. I was just watching Copland with Sylvester Stallone. You ever seen that?
Didn't see it.
Oh, bro, it's good.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a good movie, dude.
Let's check this video out real quick.
Yeah.
There's been other things too. There's other times where I'm sure, like, for Dick Stain, Donald Trump, who I had conversations with, I might vote for that motherfucker. Oh yeah, I'll break your hearts. Let me tell you something. Things don't get straightened up in this fucking world ASAP. And I know Smoking Joe has said the right thing about Israel. But when I'm seeing motherfuckers in New York City climb in public in front of crowds of people, rip down UN flags, rip down Israeli flags, rip down American flags on Veterans Day, when the economy is the way the economy is, when I'm paying fucking mortgage rates up, I mean, I'm getting, forget a colonoscopy. You don't need to get a colonoscopy. Go buy a house.
Can't.
The interest rates, go buy a car. And I know Smoking Joe has done some things I know. But I'm telling you right now, go buy yourself, go check what it's like to buy a car, buy a house,
buy groceries,
the money, the fucking chaos in this country, the chaos around the world. But I'm too far down the Gringo Mandingo. I'm too far down the disruptive warrior rabbit hole to pull back now. The comments have been made. I said, I've had conversations with some of my. If it comes down to pig dick Donald Trump and Smoking Joe Biden, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Voting for pig dick Donald Trump is on the table. I'm sorry. I'll still call him slob dick Donald Trump, pig dick Donald Trump, and all that. But we need to get this whole fucking situation under control.
Agreed. I mean, I do agree with him.
Yeah, but hold on, bro. Like,
but you're the reason it's like
yes.
this.
Like, what is wrong with these people's brains that they cannot understand that there is consequences to your vote that affect you?
Consequences to your influence.
Okay, like when things are good, everybody wants to talk about all these abstract concepts that don't affect us in a daily life. It's above the line issues and below the line issues. And all these people, this guy included, were talking all this bullshit about this fake racism, about, Charlottesville and all these made up fucking Russia collusion, all this shit, right? Without ever considering that, like, dude, these progressive leftists will destroy the country to the point where you're not doing well anymore.
Yeah.
Your life isn't looking the way that it's supposed to look. Shit is more expensive. And now what's happening is Biden's coming out on TV saying Bidenomics is working. It's working for who?
For them.
Who? Yeah.
For
Who?
them.
There's not a single person that voted for Joe Biden, bro, that's looking at Biden. Like when he says Bidenomics is working, everybody who voted for him, they know that they fucked up. Like you have to know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're seeing it in your own life. And this should be a lesson for every single one of those people. Like, dude, there are above the line issues. Above the line issues are the economy, crime. These are things that affect you on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. All right. Then there's below the line issues. These things like abortion, these things like, there's a million other ones. But the point is, we should evaluate what is going to affect our lives potentially and be voting on those issues. And that's common sense for everybody except these fucking far left people. Like, dude, I don't understand.
Thing too, man. Like that. Just like this video is a great example of just a low IQ person.
I think so too.
He can't put together the fact that the situation we are in is because of the things that he was saying and because of the rhetoric and because of the narratives that he pushed.
Look, bro, this guy's
comprehend the boat.
Look, dude. He's get a big mouth and he's got a following, and people love to troll this dude because literally, if we go back over the last 4 years of existence where this guy's been ranting like this. He's been wrong. He's the antithesis of us.
Every time.
He's been wrong every single fucking time on every single issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for 3,000.
Yeah. And you ever notice how these are the loudest people? Like, dude, you fucked up. You were wrong. Just look at the camera and say, you know what, man?
Yeah.
I don't know what I think I know. I was wrong. I believe the lies. They lied to me too. Like, tell the truth. Instead of like trying to hang on to your pride, like I would respect this dude if he were to like look in the camera and be like, you know what, man?
I was a dumbass.
Yeah. And I got taken advantage of. Because,
Yeah.
like, dude, what this is propaganda, man. Like, we grow up with an idea that what's on the news is the truth. And what's been on the news for the last 15 years has not been the truth. It's been lies. It's been made up things. It's been social initiatives. And all of these things have been put into place for control. And the technology combined with it has crafted a certain segment of society to go to the almost to the communist level and some across the line. And, you know, I mean, dude, like, you have to be a fucking idiot to like keep voting the same way you're going to vote. It's like people who move from California and then go wherever they're going and still vote for the same shit.
Right.
Like,
Right.
why the fuck did you move, dude?
Right.
Like,
Right.
it really, man, what it shows, like, here's what I've learned, and it is what it is that there is seriously like a whole lot of very low IQ people that believe they have high IQ because they went through the progressive liberal education system and got awarded a piece of paper that says, you're so smart, right? Called a degree.
Right.
And there's just a lot of people who believe they're super intelligent because the system that was created to create good little worker bees, good little robots, said you're a good little robot.
Right.
And they come out and they think they're more intelligent than you.
Like, bro, all you did was keg stands every weekend.
Bro,
Like,
and not
you know
only
what
that,
I'm saying? Like, didn't-
you followed directions enough to get awarded a piece of paper. You didn't question
Great
anything.
job.
You didn't think about anything. You didn't have any critical like thinking exercises or discussions. You did what you're told. That's what a degree is for.
Yeah, dude.
So,
Dude, dumb people think they're smart. Smart people don't think they're smart.
dude, I don't know, man. Like, I think there's a definitive IQ difference.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who believe that they're very intelligent because the system has told them they're intelligent, when in reality, they're not intelligent. Intelligence is the ability to process information and come up with your own conclusion about it. That's not what these people have been trained to do. These people have been trained to hear information and parrot it. And then they were given an award for that.
Yep.
And so they believe, well, that piece of paper from Harvard says I'm a genius. Well, I'm sorry, but your words and actions show that you're a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Last thing on this, man, because it is interesting to see these things come out, man. I don't know if the world's about to end or what. Did you see that Snoop Dogg's not smoking no more? No more weed for Snoop Dogg.
I saw him say that.
Well, I mean, here's his tweet, man. He's like, I'm giving up smoke. After much consideration and conversation with my family, I've decided to give up smoke. Please respect my privacy at this time. It's like, oh, man. Like,
It feels like a troll.
You think so?
Feels like a troll.
Dude, he smokes.
It feels like a troll.
Like all of it.
Yeah. I mean, cool, man.
You just going cold turkey?
More for us. Like, I don't know
Like,
what.
dude, this dude has a fucking like full-time roller.
A lot of those guys do. A lot of the big celebrities that smoke,
Yeah.
they got a roller that goes around with them.
Like, that's insane. And just go cold turkey. All right.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude.
Snoop Dogg knows some shit that we
Hey,
don't
man,
know.
here's the deal. I support anybody doing what they need to do to get better. If he
Yeah,
thinks that's
that's
what he
what they
needs to
feel
do,
like.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm going to stop smoking. I'm just being real. I'm not stopping. I fucking love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Well, guys, let's get into our headlines, man. Remember, if you want to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them linked there. If you're watching on the tube, check down in the description below. And you can find them linked there as well. So with that being said, man, let's get into our headlines. Headline number 1.
Before we get into the headlines, I do want to address Day in the Life is coming, guys. I know I promised you on November 8th. We had a little bit of we had some switching in our schedules a little bit, so I got that coming soon. And also, I know that we've had the show; it's been irregular, but I got a day job, man. this isn't my main gig, Like, I don't sit in front of a microphone
Despite
every day.
what the post says, you're
Yeah,
not
bro.
just a YouTuber and podcast.
Yeah, and I'm not one of these guys who just has a microphone that sits in front of it to make, some shit for the internet. Like,
Yeah.
I actually do things in real life. I know it's contrary to typical entrepreneur podcaster culture these days where, they actually have a job and actually work. But
right, so like, when do you entrepreneur then?
Yeah, right. So I just want to let you guys know, every once in a while, that's how it goes here. So we'll be back on schedule, I believe, this next week.
Yeah. Yep.
So a little housekeeping.
Yeah.
Also, MSCEO project getting ready to launch soon too. So keep an eye out in your email. If you're on my email list, I'll notify you guys on email for that. So
yeah. All right, man. Well, let's get into headline number one. Headline number one reads, "Watch Chinese flags line San Francisco streets for Xi Jinping." Oh man. Yeah.
It's a disturbing image,
dude. It's like that movie Red Dawn. I don't know if that was China or not, but
in each movie it was different. One it was Russia, and one it was China.
Yeah, I think the newer one it was China.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, it was an eerie feeling, dude. Like watching these videos, man. So there's a Breitbart article. Chinese flags parading through the streets of San Francisco ahead of President Joe Biden's meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping have been met with backlash as videos circulate on social media. Here's one video. I thought this was fucking Hong Kong or something at first.
No, if it was Hong Kong, the buildings would be nicer. That's a fact. That's true.
That's true.
It's a disturbing image, bro.
Who puts this shit together? Like, I want to know who organizes the people on the streets, bro. Like, that's my question. Because, like, I mean, there's always something deeper going on. It's like the bricks that show up at protests. It's you know what I'm saying? Like, who is organizing that shit at the grassroots level? Like, how does
I don't know, but
around?
I mean, it only looks like there's about 150 people there. I mean, total. I mean, it's not like a lot of people.
Yeah.
But here's the reality, is that this should be very disturbing images for anybody who is an American. When we have a world leader who basically threatens us all the fucking time.
Every other day.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we clean up a city and remove all the homeless people, right?
Bro.
What?
That shit would move, like, how they clean San Francisco up in like 2 days.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. But they have no problem leaving it shitty for all its citizens and its taxpayers and people who, like I've had so many
years.
Bro, I've had a lot of friends who have had to move out of San Francisco because the environment has become so detrimental to their businesses that they own that they've had to move to places like Texas and Florida. And the fact that they would allow their city to be totally destroyed by the homelessness and the drugs and the crime, and then clean it all up in one day for Xi Jinping and not its own citizens, that's insane.
That's insane. Did you see his response to that?
Who, Newsom's?
Newsom's.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, where he said, well, I know a lot of people are saying that we cleaned up the city because the fancy leaders are coming to town, and, that's the truth. Because it's true.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, bro.
I got it here. I got it.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
Oh, man.
But it's also true for months and months and months
Look at
prior
them
to
laughing.
APEC.
The people in
We've
the
been
back
having
are
different
laughing.
conversations.
Dude, they're laughing.
Folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
How the fuck are you going to laugh at that?
But it's also true for months and months and months prior to.
And then we have people talking about this guy running for president, dude. You're going to vote for this fucking guy when he's fucking laughing about our cities being total shitholes and cleaning them up for Chinese communist leaders?
Bro.
This is fucking insane, man.
They are more worried about impressing them than they are
taking care of our own people.
Dude, where do those homeless people go?
Look, bro, these people belong in fucking jail. Okay? This dude belongs in jail. All these people are traitors. All these people have sold out to the Chinese government. they're willing to hand over our country for their own benefit on a silver platter to our literal enemy. Like, that's what we're dealing with here, dude. And this guy doesn't have any business running for anything. This guy should be running for, like, if he's folding the underwear or the towels or cooking the slop in the prison. Yeah. Like, that's what the he should be running for. And all of these guys. The fact that these two people behind him are laughing when he says that, that's not funny, dude.
Disgusting.
How many lives have been ruined by the neglect of these leftist leaders?
It's disgusting.
Dude, if I was a citizen of California and I'm watching that, like, how pissed off would you be? Like, you're going up and down the streets of your own city. It's a shithole. There's people everywhere. There's trash everywhere. There's drugs everywhere. There's shit and piss in the streets. There's homeless epidemic. There's homeless veteran epidemics. It's an economically impossible place to really build a business from the ground up at this point in time.
Yeah.
This is why everybody's
Which is
leaving.
hard already to do.
Bro, it's impossible the way they're taxing people there. I mean, the exodus from California has been the greatest exodus of any state in any time in history in the United States history. And they're talking about putting this guy for president. His track record is literally shit. Like, what are we talking about here? Mm-hmm. And dude, here's the problem. That Michael Rappaport guy, yeah. they make Gavin Newsom the president candidate. He'll vote for him.
He's the better option.
Yeah, I know. He'll ignore all the real world data of the state. Like, bro, how do we not understand this? What he's done in California, he will do across the country.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is trying to do what Gavin Newsom has done in California.
That's where they're buddy.
Oh, man. It's frustrating, dude. And you know what? It comes from people being quiet. It comes from people obeying the social weapons that have been put into society, like political correctness, silent majority, being afraid of cancel culture, not using their voice. You know, I get asked all the time, dude, everywhere I go. They're like, well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Man, you can talk. You can use your voice. It matters. Why do you think they censor people? Why do you think they create these narratives and these cultural weapons like political correctness to get you to silence yourself so you don't offend someone with the truth? Why do you think that they make things like silent majority? They're afraid of your voice. So use it. That's the thing that we're missing here. Like, oh, I don't have a big platform. Dude, I'm talking about to your friends, your family, the people you know. Like when you go to Thanksgiving next week and, you know, they start spouting off about, the leftists start spouting off about their bullshit, bro. You should look them in the eye and tell them to shut the fuck up.
Eat your turkey.
Yeah. Like, dude, they're ruining the world and you're allowing it. Actually, you're ruining the world. All of you listening right now who are not speaking up, not standing up, not saying things, not calling it out when you recognize that something's wrong, you are more of the problem than these people. You are more of the problem than these people because you're giving these people a pass with your silence. We can no longer give these people a pass. Remember all your friends and family who attacked you and call you names and try to intimidate you for the last 10 years for having certain political views? Those people don't give two fucks about offending you or having some sort of confrontation or bullying you. So why do you care so much about bullying them back? Why are you afraid to speak up back to them? They will bully you into the earth. So bully them back. That's what we need. You need to stand up, speak up, and use your voice relentlessly, unless you want the next time this motherfucker comes to the United States, he'll actually be the president. You know, this is ridiculous, dude. They're flying Chinese flags up and down the street. This guy should come here. He should never see a Chinese flag. There should be 50,000 motherfucking troops standing right there in his face to intimidate the fuck out of him, to let him know, like, bro, we'll fucking kill you right here if you run your mouth.
Yeah, sneeze too hard.
Yeah. Like, bro, this should be a very uncomfortable place for him to come. Very uncomfortable.
And we're rolling out the red carpet.
Yeah, we're sucking his fucking dick. They probably got him the best prostitutes of California to just visit him in his hotel room. Like, it's insane, dude.
Yeah, man. Guys, tell us what you guys think. Jump in on this conversation. Down in the comments, let us know. Hashtag America so nice. Let us know what you guys think.
How would you feel if you're a family who's lost a soldier or made sacrifices or have a history of serving this country, and you watch and see our literal political enemy in the world, our biggest threat in the world, get welcomed like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking unacceptable, dude.
Real shit. I thought about this too because I saw this picture yesterday. I don't know if I wasn't able to confirm it, but I know it is a real thing. Think about the Chinese immigrants that have came here for asylum because of the communism that they've escaped from China, right? Like, there's a decent amount of them.
Yeah.
And imagine them watching this fucking guy who's
terrified.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, we got, like, dude, did people forget that we got, like, they have Chinese police departments in this country? Did we forget about that?
Most people don't know that.
You know what I'm
Most
saying?
people aren't even aware of that.
Like,
most of our listeners have forgotten that.
The fucking surveillance state that he's putting in Cuba right now to watch us. Like, did we forget about that? And we're rolling out the red carpet.
Look, bro, here's the real. Our government, our media has been compromised. Our president has been compromised. That's what all this Hunter Biden laptop shit's about. It's treason, dude. That's what it is. And this is gonna become more and more common to the point where these dudes are gonna be running our shit soon. Anyway,
openly,
yeah, it's fucking fucked up, man.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's keep this cruise moving. Before we get to headline number 2, let's cruise the comments. This week's cruise the comment comes from Johnny Grube. I'm assuming this is in response to the Lane Kiffin Ole Miss situation we covered on Q&A, but he says, almost 56 and have missed one day of work in 25 years in blue-collar work because we win and most men don't realize not showing up means someone else has to pick up your slack. Imagine being a grown man and acting like that. It's real shit.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a big difference between someone who's been in the workforce for 25 years and a 19 or 20-year-old kid who has never been told the truth about reality.
Or didn't have somebody in the household.
Yeah, but the danger is that the people who have been in the workforce for 25 years are getting older, and that while they understand this cultural reality of working, the younger people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, if they don't figure it out, we're in deep shit. And how I see this going, these people have been groomed and indoctrinated. I think the plan has been laid out much longer than what anybody realizes. And I think they've known about what they're going to do with AI and what they're going to do with automation and what they're going to do with technology for many, 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 many years. And the grooming of this younger generation to be more so, I don't want to work. I don't believe in work. I don't believe in capitalism. I don't believe in hard work equals results or investing my time. I believe that's intentional because what they're going to do now is they're going to say, well, by the way, everything's automated and there's no jobs. So here's your little government check to live your life in your utopia, except that government check's going to be like every other failed communist experiment that's ever happened. That government check's going to be so fucking little. The universal basic income is going to be so little that everybody's going to fucking starve. And because there's no capitalistic environment inside the economy, there's nobody who is actually pushing to improve and do better and compete with each other. Like, let's say, like for food, right? You don't have farmers, working to outdo the next farmer next door and do better than them. We don't have actual competition. And when we don't have competition, the government runs everything, the supplies dry up and people fucking starve. And this is what happens. There's no luxury. Like, I feel like everybody, these young kids, they think like communism is going to produce a lifestyle like these Instagram fucking entrepreneurs post. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to be rolling around free money with a fucking Lambo or whatever. And dude, really, you're going to have no shoes. You're going to have not really any food. You're not going to have any clothes. You're going to fucking not have anywhere to live. And the government's going to say, well, you're getting your universal basic income. Be happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
you don't own anything.
Yeah, bro. Like,
be happy.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah, man.
And you could see the effects of it. I mean, look, how many young people, I could tell you this, when I was in my 20s versus the kids that are in their 20s now, there's an extreme difference in the work ethic. Extreme. Almost polar opposites. When I was in my 20s, we all understood that there was a real competition happening in the world. We understood that if we didn't work hard, we would lose. We understood that if we didn't give our best, we would live a mediocre life at best and probably struggle our whole lives. We understood that very clearly. So we had motivation to invest in work and do things. And now we look at the kids in their 20s and what are they talking about? They're talking about, you know, living in some sort of utopia. They're talking about going to Burning Man. They're talking about, you know, getting a van and exploring the world and living a life. Like, cool. But like, here's the thing, dude. When you get to be in your 30s or 40s, you're not going to have shit. And you're not going to be able to create shit. And then you're going to be in this situation of perpetual slavery, because that's what it is. You're going to have to work a job that you hate because you can't survive, and you're in this trap cycle. And this is why, like, these kids who are in their, you know, under the age of 20 or under the age of 30 in their 20s being told, hey, your 20s don't matter, go do whatever you want. They're being told faulty information. Mm-hmm. The 20s are the time you lay the foundation for the rest of your life, bro. Like, that's reality. It's not time to fuck off. No. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have success, but I'm saying this is where you're going to learn your lessons. This is where you're going to build relationships. This is where you're going to set your platform. And then when you get into your 30s, you start to actually find success and make money. And then when you get into your 40s, you're going to see that you have some means, and you're going to be able to look at everybody else who bought into the, you know, I'm just going to cruise through life mentality, because those people are going to be working at like a real, like, they're going to be the person who's in their 40s working at fucking, you know, T-Mobile, bro, like hating their fucking life and can't get out of it and they have to, because they got to eat. Yep. And, you know, this isn't like trying to talk down or scare anybody. This is just reality. Like, if you don't work hard, bro, the result that you produce is going to be shit. And that mentality has been intentionally erased from a younger generation, in my opinion, so that the government can move us into a communist, globalist type government system. And I think everything that we've seen for the last number of years has been the big moves to move us in that direction rather quick.
And proof of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, guys, I just want to say thank you for being Real Ass fans. Make sure you keep liking, commenting. Make sure you subscribe as well, and keep being Real Ass fans. So with that being said, man, let's move to headline number 2. This is an interesting one. And I don't really understand the move behind this, so maybe you can shed some light on this one. But Facebook, Instagram will now allow political ads that claim the 2020 election was stolen. I don't, like...
Well, I mean, it fucking was. Like, I mean, I don't think... I think anybody who has a ability to critically think at this point in time can identify the deception and the cover-up that's been going on around this issue, the January 6th issue included. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire. And when you can't criticize things and you can't say, you can't, like, dude, up until recently, you couldn't even talk about that. Nope. Like on YouTube especially, you couldn't even mention that. They would just take your video down.
Yeah, so I mean, now, like, be advised, this is a CNN article, okay? So we know how CNN is. But our CNN article reads, Meta will allow political ads on its platforms to question the outcome of the 2020 U.S. presidential election, part of a rollback in election-related content moderation among social media platforms over the past year ahead of the 2024 U.S. presidential contest. The policy means that Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, will be able to directly profit from political ads that boost false claims about the legitimacy of the 2020 election. While the company will allow political advertisements to claim that past elections, including the 2020 presidential race, were rigged, it will prohibit those that call into question the legitimacy of an upcoming or ongoing election. The change is part of a year-old policy update, but has not been widely reported. The Wall Street Journal reported Meta's ad policy change earlier Wednesday. So the past ones, yeah, okay, all right, cool. But the future ones, no. The current ones, there's no possible way those can be stolen. Can we talk about them after they happen?
Yeah. Look, man, I think this is kind of weird because look how this is written, right? The policy means that Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, will be able to directly profit from political ads that boost false claims about the legitimacy of the 2020 election. Okay, well, what this shows to me when I read this is a separation from the mainstream media and social media. kind of breaking apart.
Yeah.
All right. Because CNN is clearly still saying, false claims, where Meta is clearly saying, well, we don't know. Right.
I don't think they were that false.
Yeah. So it's interesting for that.
It's like a chick with the Adam's apple.
But
like,
here's
yeah,
no shit. But here's something to think about too, is if Trump's going around and these other candidates are going around talking about the presidential race being rigged in ads, okay? Well, there's a couple things about that. One, he's going to have problems raising money. Like if he's talking about the election's rigged, like why would you give this guy money if the election's already rigged and the outcome's decided?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a great point.
And then also, if we go around and which I believe they are rigged in certain areas for sure. But if we go around and talk about that being the problem, that sort of demoralizes people from voting. Like there's a lot of people out here that are like, dude, what difference does it make if I vote or not? And that's what happened, in Venezuela. That's what's happened in these communist revolutions over the last.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so part of me thinks this is propaganda. They're allowing the propaganda intentionally to demoralize people from voting. So like, get what I'm saying? Like Meta's saying, okay, yeah, let them talk about it because all that's going to do is demoralize the people in the center and the right from actually believing that they should vote.
Yeah, and then on top of that, when you have these articles that CNN is putting out saying the election's completely secure, now there's this fog of confusion.
Correct.
And like people are like, okay, no, it's definitely fucking rigged. They're saying it, I'm saying? The opposite is true, right? Like it feeds into that whole monster, dude. That's a great.
And you have all these people, these influencers out here saying, your vote doesn't matter, don't buy into the system. I'm not going to vote. Bro, y'all are fucking idiots. Like, how are we going to catch them cheating if we don't know what the true numbers are?
Right.
So like, even if you thought the election was rigged, you still have a duty to go vote for the evidence aspect of because we can look back at that later potentially and say, okay, actually, this is the real outcome of the election. Right. And if people choose to not vote, we don't have that evidence and then they win by default.
Right.
So, and that could go for either side. So it's super important that people understand that you have to vote whether you believe that the election is real or not real or compromised or however you believe. You have to choose the best candidate that you think is going to create the best life for us here, and specifically you here in America. That's the obligation for us going to vote. Yeah. And it's weird to me how people who I've thought were quote unquote intelligent are now talking about how if Trump's the candidate, they're not going to vote. So you're not going to vote because you don't like Trump, but you agree that the world's totally and you're just going to allow it to get worse and worse and worse.
It goes back to Michael Rappaport.
Because you like DeSantis or you like Vivek or you like whoever. Like, bro, everybody who thinks that Vivek is the guy or DeSantis is the guy, if Trump ends up being the guy, you have an obligation to vote for that man. Because otherwise the country's going to fucking burn.
It will be a loss.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we're going to, 4 more years of what's going on now, there will be no America. Like that I'm 100% confident in that. I'm 100% confident. Yeah. They will arrest what they're doing to Trump. They will do to every single person who fucking voted for him. They will ostracize. If you thought like what they did with the vaccine was bad, where they started like pushing people out of the workforce, dude, this next 4 years for anybody that speaks out against those people, for anybody that voted in the opposite direction, bro, they're going to persecute them relentlessly. They're going to take everything away from you. And for people like me and you and other people who are speaking up with a microphone, they put those people in jail or kill them. That's what they do. And that's where we're at. People have to recognize what we're actually dealing with here. This is not normal ebbs and flows of political discourse. No. This is a communist revolution that we are many years into. And we have very little chance of stopping it unless we unite and get really fucking smart. I think a lot of people are underestimating what's actually going on. You know, they talk about like, oh yeah, man, it's not as bad as you think. What are you talking about? It's not as bad as I think. We have a literal invasion happening at the southern border. We have our strategic oil supply is gone. We have our military supplies in Europe. We have crime at one of the highest rates it's ever been. We have credit card defaults at the highest rate they've ever been. We have mortgage defaults close to the highest rate that they've been in a long time. We have an economy that's on the verge of potentially hyperinflation or total collapse. Okay. We have, we have.
Right.
We have a pending world war with a military that's filled like legitimately with fucking, people who have been held to a standard that is less than what it takes to go fight a war. You know what I'm saying? Like to like thinking that we're like 2001 United States right now is a fatal idea. Like thinking
we're more divided than
bro.
we
Listen,
did.
when you run a company, and you've won, okay, and you've been successful at running a company, and for those of you that don't know and you know me from this show, that's what I do. I run companies, and I have a number of companies, and all of those companies win. And some of them have won at such a large scale that at times the people who work for those companies have started to believe that we will continue to win because we're us. All right. Not having a realistic viewpoint of where we are in the game. And what that does, that's ego, right? We think, oh, we're better than we actually are. And what that causes a situation where you get your ass beat. And then you have to have a recorrection to admit where you really are. And so I think a lot of people, that's normal for me as an operator of business. Like I can recognize unemotionally, okay, we're here. When we're running at a level 10, I can say, okay, we're running at a level 10. When we're running at a level 5 and everybody thinks we're running at a level 10, I can recognize that as well. And I see a lot of that going on in America. What I see in America is that we have kicked everybody's ass and been so prosperous and so free and so strong for so long that a lot of these people believe that we're still like that, when in reality, we're in a very vulnerable position. And that's an important thing to consider when we talk about what's going on with the election. Because if these people continue to press, bro, this shit's going to come to your fucking front porch in a way that you don't want. And not in a way of like, oh, this it's a little bit harder right now. We're talking about total collapse of the country. We're talking about chaos. We're talking about you potentially having to fight people in your fucking neighborhood. Like, this is dangerous shit where we are. And unless people truly wake up and unless people understand that we are not the superpower that we used to be right now and that we have a job to do as individuals to become that again, we're in trouble. Yeah. And that's a responsibility that we all shoulder as individuals. That's why I talk about personal excellence being the ultimate rebellion. Like, do we really think that we have the men to fight a war like that?
No, dude, we are not in physical shape to do that, mental shape, emotional shape.
All the men I know that are able to fight a war like that are in their late 30s or 40s.
Mm-hmm. Or 28.
Well, I'm just saying, man, like all the bad motherfuckers that spent the last 20 years in and out, these guys are 44 years old. They're 40 years old. You know what I mean? They're Mike Glover's age.
Yeah.
They're not 25.
They're not going to be worried about their own shit.
Correct.
Yep.
And bro, it's a big deal, man. Like we are not the same America that we used to be. And it's important that we as individuals, you as an individual, become that person that fits that position that we need. Like, it's real talk. That means you have to get fit. You have to become successful. You have to put good stuff in your brain. You have to care. You have to be a good representative of an American citizen and work hard in your communities and benefit other people. And these are real obligations that we have as individuals. And looking around and kind of like thinking that someone else is going to do it is where we're at right now. And that's not going to happen, dude.
No.
It's on you as an individual. Anybody listening to the show.
That's real shit, man. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know what you guys think. # watch this. And tell us what you guys think about it. Let's keep moving to our third and final headline. This is a little mix of stories because it's all the shit that's been going on in the background while everybody's been focused over here. It's the shit that's been going on over here. So let's get into our third headlines. Headline number 3. Chris Wray gets caught. Representative Higgins released photo of the secret J6 ghost buses. Now, this is an interesting one. So on Wednesday, by the way, so I saw this video that I circulated out of Representative Higgins. Did you know that he used to be there? There's this like, bro, this video went viral so long ago, but it's a video of like this captain from the sheriff's department, right? And he's like literally like he's got the whole fucking sheriff's department standing behind him, right? Members of the community, and he's like basically threatening all the criminals and gangbangers and stuff in the city. He's like, we'll come find you if you want to have a tussle with me. It's come get me. You know where I. That was him.
Oh, really?
I had no fucking idea.
Well,
but
good.
it makes sense. Like, this dude's been a badass for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? And he's doing some really, really great work. But just this past Wednesday, Republican Representative Clay Higgins confronted FBI Director Chris Wray on FBI operatives working inside the crowds on January 6, 2021, during the House Homeland Security Committee hearing on domestic threats within the U.S. This confrontation took place exactly a year after Representative Higgins confronted Director Wray for FBI assets working inside the Capitol on January 6th. Chris Wray refused to answer the questions last year and today. During the hearings today, Representative Higgins told Chris Wray. Here's the video.
He said he was communicating with his FBI handler while people were entering the U.S. Capitol. Can you confirm that the FBI had that sort of engagement with your own agents embedded into the crowd on January 6th?
If you are asking whether the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources and or agents, the answer is emphatically
You're saying
not.
no?
No.
You're saying no?
Not
Okay.
violence orchestrated
Let's
by
move
FBI
on.
sources or agents.
Are you familiar with you know what a ghost vehicle is? Director of the FBI certainly should. You know what a ghost bus is?
A ghost bus?
Ghost bus.
I'm not sure I've used that term before.
Okay. Well, it's pretty common in law enforcement. It's a vehicle that's used for secret purposes.
So it's important to identify when he says, I'm not sure I used that term before, he knows exactly what he's talking about.
He knows exactly what it is.
Okay, so like if you guys are not like understanding what he just said was, and this is typical leftist shit, he's trying to control the language. This is what people do when they gaslight you.
Yep.
Like, you know exactly what that motherfucker did. He knows what he did, but he's saying on a technicality, well, I've never called a ghost bus.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like, it's important to realize what he's doing.
Mechanical.
Whatever.
You know
he
what I'm
knows,
saying?
this motherfucker knows exactly what. Okay, keep going.
Well, bro, they're all lawyers.
Dude.
And that's the whole game is this fucking,
Yeah.
this war of words.
Of language. That's right.
Yeah, dude. Like, they're all lawyers.
It's highly manipulative and it's borderline abusive psychologically type language.
It's not pink, it's fuchsia.
Correct. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I actually did this.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
When that and this are the same fucking thing.
It's the same
Right.
thing, man. Yeah, here we go.
In law enforcement, it's a vehicle that's used for secret purposes. It's painted over. These two buses in the middle here, they were the first to arrive at Union Station on January 6th, 0500. I have all this evidence. I'm showing you a tip of this iceberg.
Mr. Chairman.
These two buses
Mr.
are
Chairman.
painted completely white.
Point of order.
As soon as we get into the good
Point
stuff,
of order. Sure.
let's stop talking about it.
Run over the time.
I understand, but you'll recall that Ms. Jackson Lee's been allowed to go 2 minutes before. I've been very fair in letting people finish their questioning throughout my tenure as chairman, and I'll continue to be fair on that regard. But I will make a note to the members, if you could stay as close within your time as possible. We have a lot of people that want to ask these gentlemen questions. So with that, the gentleman yields. But your point, I've been very fair in this, Mr. Ivey, with everybody on this side of the aisle just as much.
I don't think I accuse you of being unfair, Mr. Chairman. I just
You're
raised
making a
of
point.
order.
Okay, thank you. I now recognize Mr.
May I
Wray.
close this statement?
Somebody gives him a
I
signal
think
here.
your time is expired.
You see that? He's looking at somebody to give that answer.
Oh, yeah.
Time is expired, Mr.
I note that other members across the aisle have been granted time, and I object to my question being closed. This is a very significant hearing, Mr. Chairman, and these buses are nefarious in nature and were filled with FBI informants dressed as Trump supporters and deployed onto our Capitol on January 6th. Your day is coming,
you made your
Mr. Wray.
point, Mr. Higgins. I now
But yeah, man, so it completely destroys him. And there's been other shit that came out. Like, here's another video that was also shown at this hearing. Don't know if you guys saw this one.
Unmarked state trooper vehicle, 2 black SUVs. There's 3 state trooper vehicles escorted, 4 Antifa shuttle buses right here front center. There was actually 5 vehicles total. There was 3 up front, 2 in the back. They escorted right here, waited for them to get off their buses, and then the state troopers unloaded and took their positions. Watch. There's that guy.
So state troopers are escorting Antifa buses into J6.
And then there's the ones up front too. They escorted, and each one of those buses are labeled. They're all paid charter buses.
Look at that, bro.
Check this out. Watch. Here's the black SUVs up front, and wait till you see who leads it.
Wow. They freaking brought damn Antifa here.
They escorted them here.
You've
literally.
got to be.
Lights flashing and all.
You've got to be effing kidding me.
Lights flashing.
Patriots, are you guys watching this? You guys.
Wild shit, man. Wild shit. And other stuff that's been making the news that not a lot of people have been covering is this stuff about this internet merger takeover by our federal government. So this is a Reuters article. It reads, U.S. government aims to free up more wireless spectrum. So what they're doing is that they are basically trying to push in this administrative arm that will control 2G, 5G, 6G when that unveils Wi-Fi services, right? In the name of prioritizing internet for the entire company or entire country, excuse me. They're calling it their national spectrum strategy, right? And basically anything that operates over 2,700 megahertz, 2.7G, right? Anything that operates over that will have repurposing, is what they're calling it, right? And we're talking phones, we're talking laptops, we're talking TVs, right? We're talking anything internet, vehicles, all of these things, right, for repurposing. Now, a lot of people are blowing the whistle. Chairs Rogers and Latta denounced Biden FCC's mission to take over America broadband services. They released a statement. House Energy and Commerce Committee Chair Kathy McMorris Rogers and Communications and Technology Subcommittee Chair Bob Latta released a statement following the Federal Communications Commission's vote to approve digital discrimination rules. Quote, the digital discrimination rules approved by the FCC are just another step towards Biden's broadband takeover. This move puts onerous requirements on our nation's broadband providers and will lead to government bureaucrats micromanaging America's internet access. It's time for the Biden administration to end this effort to enact more government controls, which will ultimately lead to higher cost and worse services for America. But it's even deeper than that. Even the FCC commissioner himself, this guy, Brendan Carr, he puts out a statement. He runs the FCC. And he puts out this letter. It says, Carr opposes President Biden's plan to give the administrative state effective control of all internet services and infrastructure in the United States. This unlawful power grab chooses central planning over free market capitalism. And he lists out a bunch of points in his argument. He says, so last month, Biden gave the FCC its marching orders, an actual order from the president, do this, right? And so they do that, but then he releases this letter. He brings up a bunch of different points. First point is that it hands the administrative state effective control of all internet services and infrastructure in the country. The plan sweeps entire industries within the FCC's jurisdiction for the first time in the agency's 90-year history. This has never happened. Never happened. It also allows the FCC to impose unfunded build mandates on ISPs and unlimited monetary fines on every covered entity. It adopts an expansive and disfavored theory of liability that Congress neither directed nor authorized the FCC to adopt. They don't even have the legal constitutional power to do any of this. And he ends it here. He says, in the end, the FCC could have adopted rules that lawfully and faithfully implemented Congress's decision in the Infrastructure Act. the FCC could have taken concrete steps that would have extended high-speed internet services to more Americans. In fact, the FCC cites a few such actions in its draft order that were raised in the record, including eliminating government-imposed barriers and regulatory red tape that have been slowing down broadband builds. But instead of going that route, the FCC opts for this ideological approach instead. To me, I think out of all the things, this is probably the most scary thing to me, right? Because I don't think, and obviously, like I said, nobody's really talking about this, but the amount of power and control that this would be giving, not just the Biden administration, but like just plainly the government. I don't care if it was Republicans or Democrats. It doesn't matter. This
right,
is
the state. It's state control.
This is state controlled access.
And bro, listen, we've heard the state control media, right?
Yeah.
Like in communist countries, the media was run by the state. You don't get real news.
Right.
You get 100% propaganda. Like if you go to China, bro, and you tell Chinese people that you watch the Chinese news, they laugh at you, right? They understand exactly what it is. The problem here in the United States is people do not understand what it is yet. Yeah. And so how I read this, and I got some stuff to say about the January 6th thing too, but on this FCC thing, how I'm reading this is, we have this lawsuit that Senator Eric Schmidt, when he was the Attorney General of Missouri, and a couple other state attorney generals put together, that is now at Supreme Court level, that is talking about the ability for the government to collude and censor through big tech. And it's also covering some issues in regards to how big tech is actually censoring, i.e. Traffic algorithms, the things that we all hate, right? Like when we post shit and it doesn't go for whatever reason, like that's a form of censorship. Right? People don't understand that. They think
it's not that you just wrote a bad
it's
post.
not they just right. It's not that they just take your shit down or put a fact check on your post. It's that they'll just throttle the traffic and nobody will see it. That's censorship in itself.
Right.
And the reason that this has been allowed to happen, there's two arguments. One, it was allowed to happen intentionally. They didn't regulate it intentionally. But two, the technology, when it first came around, the tech companies like Facebook and these other social media platforms, Google, and these guys got so much money so fast and filtered it right into the politicians that they created, a favorable Section 230 with very little regulation on what they can and can't do. And I don't think that anybody ever anticipated, at least on our side, the average citizen, that the entire town square would be moved to these platforms. So in the beginning, we're like, yeah, that makes sense. They're a private business. They can do what they want. Sure. But now that the entire conversation has moved to social media, these people have unlimited ability to censor, prop up narratives, remove, deplatform. I mean, dude, they're running like if you look at how social media companies run their platform, that is unconstitutional if it were the government doing it.
Right.
And so when we look at what's happening here, this lawsuit's at at Supreme Court. And what I see this as Biden administration figuring out over the next 12 months, because this could go to court any day, right?
Right.
And get ruled upon.
This is their fail-safe.
And if they rule that the government can't do what they did in 2020 or during COVID, okay, these people won't have a massive tool that they were able to use to prop up narratives or squash narratives or censor or any of these things. And so how I see this FCC thing is them trying to maneuver around that to take control of the entire internet so that they can run their play however they want. And that means, like, if I say the wrong thing, they can just shut my shit down. If I post the wrong thing, they can shut my internet off.
Not your social media page.
Yeah.
Your internet access altogether.
Correct. And that's what they do over in China. And that's what they do in other places.
Think about this, man. Like think about how evil, how sinister, how fucking tyrannical you would have to be, right? Because we got to go back a little bit to that court case when it was first being tried out in regular courts. What's the first thing that the administration did? They filed a motion to dismiss it.
Yeah.
No, we want to keep doing this.
Yes.
So think about how evil somebody has to be, right? Like, I want to know whose idea, whose plan that was. Okay, well, if we can't just control social media, we'll just control the internet.
Well, who do you think it is? I know who it is.
Who do you think it is?
Barack Obama. 100%.
You think he's the one that came up?
Yeah, 100%, dude.
He
Look,
comes up with a lot of other shit.
our country was doing very well considerably until this dude came into play. Okay, and he's the one that disturbed all the racial tensions. He's the one that created all this shit, and he's running the show right now. I mean, Biden's not running the show. Everybody knows that. Even people who are Democrats know that Biden's not making decisions. We all know that Barack Obama's calling the plays. He talks about it. He talks about it openly in interviews where he's like, well, I would never want to be president again, but if I could sit in my basement and, have an earpiece and talking to someone, I would do that.
Yeah, right.
That's what he's doing.
Right.
Okay? So when we think about this play, and then we think about the J6 play, okay? So when we talk about cultural movements that are designed to be weapons, all right? And I talk to you guys about political correctness, and it doesn't make sense. You're like, what do you mean it's a weapon? Because they crafted a narrative in society where you're not allowed to speak the truth because it offends people's feelings.
Some person you don't even know.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what does that do to us as individuals? It creates a situation where we self-censor and we condition ourselves to not speak the truth. That's the point of political correctness. That's why it started 20 years ago. Then when we look at what's happening with cancel culture, okay? Cancel culture is a fear-based social weapon that makes you believe that if you say the wrong thing, you're going to get attacked, you're going to get fired, you're going to lose your income. And lots of people out here are afraid of that. So they don't speak up and they don't say things. And who does that benefit? That doesn't benefit the people censoring themselves or the people being quiet. Then when we look at the idea of the silent majority.
That's the nobility in being
correct.
Oh,
then they add the moral superiority to being silent.
Right.
Okay, these are all stackable social weapons that we've seen. And when we look at J6 is just another social weapon that they have created to intimidate all patriotic Americans, anybody who doesn't agree with what they're doing, to instill fear in them that if they go out and protest in the streets, that they will be arrested and sentenced to 18 years, like some of these people who were there on J6. And so, in my opinion, when Chris Wray says, are you asking if, like, he tells on himself, right? Like, what do people do when you accuse them of shit? Like, hold on. When you ask questions to someone who's clearly guilty, what do? They usually respond like this. Are you asking that if I did this and this and this and this and this? And that's what his answer was right there in the interview. Yeah. He said, are you asking if all he asked was like, do you know what a ghost bus is? And the motherfucker responds and says, are you asking if J6 was some sort of operation? Yeah, that's what we're asking. And it was.
It's like 80. Did you steal the cookie? Are you asking if I ate the goddamn cookie out of the cookie jar that was on the counter over there?
Yeah, these crumbs? Yeah. These are not crumbs.
Get out of here.
Yeah. You do that. Like, that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people who are lying.
It's not pink, it's fuchsia.
Listen, yes, he's flat out lying. Bro. Okay? And J6, 100%, in my opinion, was an operation, a social weapon, no different than these other social weapons we just went through, that was designed to intimidate people from actually speaking up and having the courage to speak up and go out and stand up so that they would have a free runway to implement all these things that they're doing. Imagine if people weren't afraid to protest because of J6 never happening over the last 3.5 years. What would have happened? What would have happened during Ukraine? What would have happened during the vaccine? What would have happened during the migration crisis, or the fucking invasion is what it should be called. Right. Okay? What would happen? We'd have hundreds of thousands of fucking patriotic Americans in the streets. And real truth, that's what we need to have happen again. We have to, they can't arrest everybody, bro. They can't do this to everybody.
That's why they try to make a few examples out of the
and scare everybody.
Yeah.
Correct. And dude, if we continue to cower because they run these initiatives and we continue to edit our language that is for political correctness, for feelings, the truth and reality start to fade away, which is what they want. They want the truth and reality to fade away so it can be replaced with their truth and their reality. And we're allowing that as American citizens by not exercising our ability to use our voice. And our ability to use our voice, the walls are closing in on that. Okay, it's getting harder and harder and harder to speak up. And for us to like actually maintain what we've had here in America, which is the greatest country that's ever been founded for the citizen of the country in the history of Earth. Have there been, it depends on how you're rating the success, right? Like, I'm sure if you're the king of Saudi Arabia and you've got $100 trillion or whatever they got, you probably think your system is the best. Right. But for the citizens, the quote unquote peasants in every other country, 99% of every country that's ever existed, 99.99%, the peasant class, that's the regular people. That's we the people. We have more rights and more upside in this country than has ever existed in the history of humanity. And if we don't utilize those rights will cease to exist. And that's why it's important that you guys not just speak up, but also live the example and confront the truth when you see it in real life. Like when these people come to you and they pull their shit on you, you have to do your part as an American citizen and look them in the eye and say, no, I'm not going along with that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pretend that's the truth. I'm not going to pretend that you as a man are actually a woman. I'm not going to play your game. I'm not doing it. Okay. And that's the resistance that we have to have. And as hard as that is, and as uncomfortable as it is for some of you guys, it's a hell of a lot easier than having to shoot motherfuckers. It's a hell of a lot easier than starving. It's a hell of a lot easier than living a winter with no power. Like, we have to consider the alternative to what's happening. And so the resistance that can be put into play right now is actually very painless compared to what it's going to be. And so it's important that people speak up, and it's important that people stand up. And that's a real obligation for all of us.
Absolutely, man.
You know, like I tell you guys all the time, you know, there's nobody coming to save this, man. Like, when you look at what's going wrong in America, you should look in the mirror. You should look in the mirror and say, what am I doing? How am I living? What am I saying? How am I standing up? Am I standing for the truth, or am I being a coward? Am I giving people a pass that bully me, or am I standing up to them? Like, we have to get back. We have to get like more Kid Rock and less Dylan Mulvaney, right? Like, that's what we need in America. We need way more fuck you and way less give them a pass.
Fuck me, right?
Yeah, correct,
right.
Bro. Stop laying down for these.
Hold on, that was good.
What?
You hear what I said? You said we need more fuck you and not no less fuck me.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah, I do. But what I'm saying is look, bro, we have to get to a point where we are comfortable with the attitude that has always made America great, which is this: fuck off. Okay? Like, you want to know the attitude that makes America great? Go look how Dana White handles his shit. Mm-hmm. Okay? Go look how Kid Rock handles his shit.
We need that.
All right? That's what the fuck we do here in America. And that's been intimidated and beaten and bullied out of the average American man, especially. And you men better find your fucking balls, bro. And like, stand up to this shit and say, no, I'm not fucking doing it. And if they bully you and call you names, so what? Who cares? Who cares? The minute they realize, it's like any other bully that you've ever dealt with in your entire life. The minute they realize that you're not going to put up with it, they fucking stop bullying you. Okay? It's like the playground bully that picks on everybody and yells at everybody and screams at everybody, and you knock that motherfucker's teeth out one time, bro, they don't do it for the rest of their life. They remember that lesson their entire fucking lives. And these people have been pampered and babied and pussified. And let's be real, these are the weakest people in our society. This is not just communism versus capitalism or left versus right. This is the haves versus the have-nots. And when I say haves, I don't mean money. I mean like a normal brain, a normal life, a normal mental wellness, like you're a regular human being versus like the people that we look at in the gas station and are like, what the fuck, right? Are we really going to like give the country away to these weak, fat people who are literally couldn't contribute anything and don't contribute anything just because they're loud? Like, we can't do that. We have to get back to fuck off. And if we get back to that, this whole situation will change immediately because the culture changes. And when the culture changes, the politics change.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hashtag govern us harder.
Yeah.
And let us know what you guys think. But with that being said, that was our third and final headline. Let's get to our final segment of the show. As always, thumbs up or dumb as fuck. This is where we bring an article up. We talk about it. It'll get one of those two options. So with that being said, our thumbs up or dumb as fuck headline reads, Tiger Woods' son, Charlie, accomplishes feat father never has in high school. This is pretty fucking dope. This is pretty dope. So Tiger Woods' son Charlie just accomplished a feat of the golf course his legendary father didn't this week. Woods, along with his the Benjamin School teammates, won the Florida State High School Golf Championship. Woods shot 78-76 in the 2 days of the FHSAA Class A State Championship on Wednesday at Mission Inn Resort and Club in Howey in the Hills, Florida. The Benjamin School, located in Palm Beach Gardens, had 5 total golfers in the tournament, including the 14-year-old freshman in Woods. He finished tied 26th overall, but the Benjamin School is no stranger to winning at all, as this was its 4th state title. Jake Valentine, a sophomore at a private day school, scored birdie on the 17th hole on day 2 of the tournament, as well as a putt on the final hole to clinch the title for the Benjamin School. He shot 72-76 to lead his squad to victory. The elder Woods was among the gallery watching the state title play out. There was a moment caught on video, too, of his son holding out a chip just off a green that featured a typical Woods fist bump and reaction. As a high schooler himself, Woods was never able to collect a high school state title while at Western High School in Anaheim, California. However, state golf championships were not instituted while Woods was in high school, so there is a caveat there. Andy, what we got?
I mean, look, dude, this is an example of what I was saying about parents working with their kids, okay? You can't get good. I don't care how genetically gifted you are. Golf's hard, all right? It's a very difficult
really
sport. And what's cool is that with all the success that Tiger Woods has had, he's the greatest of all time at his sport, period, all right? He's taking the time to, because like, dude, when we talk about reps, we're talking about time. Thousands, hundreds, and thousands of hours of time put into something, right? When I look at this, I think it's cool. I mean, good job, Charlie. Good job, guys at the school. That's amazing. But what I really like about it, and what I think is the real win, is the fact that Tiger is legitimately putting in the hours and the reps with his own son to build greatness within his own family. Yeah. And that's an American thing that we're missing right now. And you guys can say, oh, well, he hires coaches or this or that. Dude, he caddies for his son. I've seen this before.
I mean, not only that, bro, like even if he did hire, like guess what? He worked his ass off to be able to do that.
Right. But dude, all the lazy parents, like, dude, it's like that parent that we were talking about the other day.
With Sal,
who like they get pissed off because Sal leaves here every day after work and works with Enzo at whatever he's working on. Like it's part of his daily routine.
Right.
You know, but parents who don't do shit and sit on the couch and watch SportsCenter and talk about the pass that they could have thrown in '82 had they not been a fat and sitting on the bench, you know, like these people are professional victims, bro, and they're lazy as. And what I love about this is setting an example for what it looks like to be a good father. And you could say whatever you want about Tiger Woods. Yeah, he's had his problems. Yeah, he's had his drama.
Got that wood.
Yeah, he's got whatever. But here's the reality. He's not failing his own fucking son. That's a huge win.
That's a fact.
So I love this.
Yeah.
If we have more parents doing this for their own kids, we would have a lot better off in the world. And I do, in all fairness, I do think a lot of people are realizing that this is a real obligation. Yeah. I do feel like a lot of young parents right now who are, you know, maybe they're 8 years or 10 years into parenthood, they're starting to realize like this is a real thing. Like this is not something that we can pass off. And new parents especially are like I hear a lot from new parents who are like, I'm terrified. And I'm like, good. That means you're going to actually work to make this better.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So we got thumbs up on that.
Yeah, that was great.
Charlie. Well, guys, Andy, that's all I got.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, man. For this to get fixed, you guys have to understand this is a personal obligation, a personal responsibility that we all shoulder. Just because people come on the internet like me and some other people and speak about these things, that's not going to get it done. Unless you backfill with your actual words and your actual conversations in real life and follow it up with how you live your life and how you live and perform in your life. And we're not talking about perfection. We're talking about legitimate commitment to being the best that you can, understanding that you're going to fail, you're going to have problems, you're going to struggle, but still moving forward. This is what creates the culture that we're looking to create. And if you guys bow out of that and you think that because guys like myself or Rogan or fucking whoever is speaking up and that's going to solve this problem, you're absolutely wrong. This problem is going to be solved in real life with real conversations. So when you go to Thanksgiving this next week and your progressive communist fucking blue-haired dumbass cousin starts talking shit, bury him.
Yeah.
Okay? Because these people have no problem bullying you out of your American birthright. And if you don't speak up and protect it, bro, we're going to lose it. And your kids are going to be slaves. So it's something to think about, dude. We all have a responsibility in this mission, and it starts with sharing messages. Maybe share the show or speak it up in your own words. Either way, that's what's got to happen. All right? So think about that. If we don't do this, we will lose. All right? Don't be a hoe. Share the show.